Are you a minority and had the thoughts of moving to another state based on inflation, but can't really decide where you want to go, but yet still want to grow your business or start your business? I'm definitely like in the mix of this as I'm approaching like my big milestone, my big personal milestone. I do not see myself always staying in New Jersey, so I've definitely been looking at the market as far as retail, real estate, giving the youth opportunity. I'm just looking at a whole scope of everything as an established business owner, as far as service provider and someone that will be selling products very soon. So as I've been journaling and thinking about this and just weighing out my pros and cons, since I have a lot of leeway that I'm giving myself to make the next move, I thought this would be a great topic to discuss as far as my following. And it's also giving you guys insight to see where the opportunities are as far as minorities. When you start a business, it's very important to know what states or cities have great opportunities, who have resources, who has a high loan opportunity for you, because this is very, very important. I didn't realize how important the loan process was until I have been seeking assistance for my book inventory, which I am launching a book for my other company. But there was a lot of opportunity. I don't want to say what state I'm in just yet, but because it's in the list. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised, but I was very grateful that my state was a part of that, and I also saw it, and I was also able to share that input to a few of my business friends and a few of my clientele that I am coaching. Here are the top 5 best states for minority entrepreneurs according to Lido.com research. Number 1, Hawaii. This state never comes to mind because I don't really know anybody from Hawaii. So it just always slips my mind that this is a part of the United States, or I don't know. It just really slips my mind. But Hawaii is number 1. According to Lido.com research, 51.3% of businesses are owned by people of color, a higher rate than any other state. These companies saw 40% job growth from 2019 to 2021, and more than half of all startups under 2 years old are run by minorities. Even so, the number of community advantage loan approvals remained flat from 2021 to 2022, indicating there's more work to do to ensure entrepreneurs of color in the Aloha state have the resources they need to succeed. So as I was just stating before, when I was just having my entrepreneur new milestone, I've been writing a book for the past 18 months. Well, writing a book and also just doing the logistics, because I'm not going through Amazon. I have found my own way, because Amazon just takes a lot of money off of your profit, and I don't feel like it's worth it. So along that line, I noticed that I needed more help. I was seeking for loans because I still want to pay my people the appropriate amount. I did not want to cut, my salary, their salary, or cut anyone off, because it's been a very rocky 2 years. It's going on 3 years. So luckily, dealing with a state that has a high community advantage loan approval is definitely an upside for you if you are seeing expansion like brick and mortar, or you're starting out with one product but you want to have 20 products and you want to have a team, or you want to have your own studio. Like anything with any type of expansion, growth, you will definitely need to seek for some type of loan, whether it's the traditional or the non-traditional. You find an investor or you don't. Definitely go somewhere this is a high advantage, and Hawaii has that, which is a great place. Are any of you guys from Hawaii? I never met anybody from Hawaii. It's just very interesting. I cannot believe I forget that this is United States, but shout out to Hawaii because you guys are number one according to Lido.com research. Number two, the second state, this is actually a consideration for me because I really, really like the DMV area. It is literally my second home. But number two state is Maryland. That's how I pronounce it, but it's Maryland. Maryland is number two. I just feel like Maryland has a great community of youth because there's so many schools within a mile's radius. There's always like room for new team members or just any type of newness. So the Maryland slash DC area is more of where I'm interested in. So if you guys are in Maryland, look this up. Maryland is definitely high up there for minorities. It has a lot of resources and very beneficial for you. So if you are considering going to this place or Hawaii is like a huge leap. But if you are considering Maryland, maybe you're living in DC or Chicago. If you are living in North Carolina or Chicago or something, Maryland is a good possibility for you. And also, if you just want to go to a city, there is always Amtrak where you can make a day trip to run to New York City and come on back to your home, which is Maryland. Number 3 on the list is Maine. Never met anybody from Maine either, and I'm quite sure the population for Maine of minorities is extremely low. You know what? I'm going to do a live look on what is the population for the demographic for people of color in Maine, because it's up there where I don't really hear too much of it. All right, so here is a breakdown. So I typed in Maine population by race. Yeah, Maine is 93.68% population of whites. The black percent is 1.39%. So that is less than 2%. Asians is 1.14%. This is very interesting. Native Americans is 0.66%. Native Hawaiians or Pacific Islanders is 0.01%. So, I mean, it's predominantly white. And again, this is very surprising. I've never met anybody. I've never had desires to go there. So, I mean, if you are thinking about going there, by all means, do you. But this made the list. Number 4, Delaware. I've definitely went to school with a couple of people from Delaware and did not. I don't know what I don't know what was like my prejudgment about Delaware, but there were black people and they like resembled like people from, up north from New Jersey, New York. I was very fascinated. But Delaware has like its own small business court specifically dealing with businesses. So I'm not surprised by Delaware. I've read a book about starting a business in Delaware specifically because I noticed a lot of big companies in New York, New Jersey area, they actually form their companies in Delaware because I actually read contracts and, like the onboarding stuff. I'll see that their name and their EIN number is registered in Delaware. Like I really pay attention to stuff like this. So I'm not surprised that Delaware is on this list, putting together my perspective of, seeing and meeting a lot of black people in Delaware, and also just noticing a lot of businesses are started in Delaware, and also just reading about Delaware having its own business system separate from any type of civil or or other, court cases. So they are very prideful about businesses, and I think that's really cool. So if you are thinking about Delaware, not sure Delaware has train system. I've only driven through Delaware, but I mean, it's a consideration. It's definitely a consideration. And number 5 on the list, which is my hometown. That is, drumroll please, New Jersey. Yes, New Jersey. I was actually surprised about this, but I mean, shout out to the help that I've gotten from loans to grants. It's been amazing. I'm so glad. But this made the list for top 5 best states for minorities. So if you are considering relocating possibly one of these places, and you want to grow, or you've already established and you want to grow within 3 to 5 years, or 1 to 3 years, or whatever the timeline is: Hawaii, Maryland, Maine, Delaware, New Jersey. Those are the top 5. So let's get into it. East Coast states: Maryland, Maine, Delaware, New Jersey round out the top 5 best places for minority entrepreneurs. Maryland saw a 10.3% jump in community advantage loan approvals 2021 to 2022, beating every state except New York, which ranked 20th overall. And while number 3, Maine has one of the lowest minority ownership rates. I see why with me looking up their demographics. And they just had 3.2%. It is seeing strong job growth at those firms, and the black-white unemployment rate ratio is lower than in most other states. When it comes to the new business creation, Hawaii again takes the number 1 slot with 54.6% of startups under 2 years old owned by minorities, compared with 4.1% in Montana. Notably, Hawaii is the most diverse state. I've never been, so I would not know. This is like all fascinating. With 79.2% of the population are racial minorities. While Montana is one of the least diverse, I'm not surprised, but you know what? I will be doing a list on the top 5 worst states for minorities. So I'm not surprised by Montana, because I have met Montana and they just come from a different world. While Montana is one of the least diverse, 16.2%, overall designated minority businesses enterprises saw a 22% revenue increase between 2019 and 2021, and they employed about 865,000 people, according to the National Minority Supplier Development Council. Now, did you guys find that information fascinating? Because I definitely did. I left the link for you guys to check this information out and read and kind of click through. So thank you so much for tuning in emergetype, where fashion meets discovery. I'm Akara Reed, and be sure to subscribe, comment down below, like the video, and definitely share. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.